welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the one and only, the human terror, one of the best airs ever do it. Give it up for the world champ himself, Sam LaRue Octane. We got some of the best analysis, the world champ, Christopher Duarte Parasite. We got the multi-world champion, a multi-champion, a legend, an icon to the Call of Duty space. Give it up for Patrick Price Aikton. And then, of course, we got the one and only, the executive producer of The Flank. Give it up for Benjay Nassim. Gentlemen, how we doing? How we feeling? We just had CDL Major 4 over at Dreamhack. We finally had a little breather yesterday and Monday, but now we're back and we're ready to talk about this championship Sunday and the tournament as a whole. How are you guys doing, bro? You guys doing all right? Sam, we'll start with you. I heard somebody chopped off your internet outside.
Yeah, unfortunately, the watch party curse was so strong that my internet or my neighbor decided to chop my internet line in half, so I couldn't watch losers finals or grand finals. But hey, tough. It worked, so it's fine. I'm
glad that your internet's back, Sam. Right, you're back and you're ready to go. You look good, Sam. You look good.
Thank you so much, Tom. Oh
all right. God. What about you, Pat? How you feeling? How you doing? How was your day today? Busy day today, Pat, or what?
Yeah, man, busy times. And then I loaded up Twitter and I saw somebody talking about Benjay throwing Diddy parties at Dreamhack. It's just been a crazy time, Tom.
Benjay, were you throwing parties at Dreamhack, Benjay? Were you doing that?
I think you saw me on Sunday night. I don't think I was throwing Diddy parties, Tom. I'll tell you what I was doing. Getting my fucking flight delayed yesterday. Whoa. What's up?
I wasn't at no party on Sunday. I wasn't at no party.
No, we were
Joe O said he was there in the chat.
We were just hanging out on Sunday, but bro, I just had the worst time getting back yesterday. My flight got canceled. Luckily, luckily I got rebooked. Woke up this morning. Somehow my ticket was canceled. Luckily, I got rebooked on the first flight out. Man. Somehow got here this morning. So yeah, it's just been an absolute mess.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. But hey, Ben,
is it because of the weather?
Yeah.
Bro, it's always storming when I go to Texas. Always. It's always just like storming hard as fuck. My flight got hella delayed. And then when they scanned my boarding pass at the gate, they said that somebody else was in my seat. So I started tweaking, bro, for like 15 minutes. They started, I don't know what happened, but I ended up getting on the flight. But I was tweaking for a second. I thought I was going to boot it off. But what about you, Duarte? How you feeling? You feeling all right? You have a good flight home?
I'm feeling good, man. I drove, but
you drove. Yeah, that's right.
I'm glad the event was in Texas for that reason. But also, Dreamhack was a fucking amazing event, dude. Shout out to all the Dreamhack, staff involved, Adam Apicella and plenty of the other people.
For sure.
It was a fucking amazing event. And if you guys missed it, man, I mean, you got to go to the next one. I'm sure there'll be another one because, wow, I had such a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, the Dreamhack was incredible. Just to give our overall thoughts to the event, I mean, just having everybody in the same room. Like, you had the Challengers pit, you had the watch parties, you had all the fans, you had an amazing stage. Everything was just in one spot, right? It kind of felt like an old COD event, right? Like, even when we were doing the flank, people were screaming in the Challengers pit. Like, they were still playing, right? So just, like, seeing all that go on, especially on Friday, like we had the Alpha and the Bravo stream, and we just had Call of Duty going down at all times. Like, that was pretty cool to see, you know? Like, having COD, there really was like no break, right? Like, we got to watch COD like the whole day, which is really cool. But Ben, what about you? What were your overall thoughts of Dreamhack? I thought they had CS, they had Halo, COD. I mean, I thought everything, the way they put it together, was incredible.
I thought the event was great. It took the whole convention center. There was a lot of stuff going on. We weren't just the only esport. I think the CDL hall was pretty cool. It had definitely had a CWL feel. I think for us, I really enjoyed sort of the watch party area we had. You know, when we've gone to past events the last couple of years, we'll all try to watch party. We're all kind of in different spots, depends on opposite sides of the venue. So it's kind of cool, like, that we're all in one area. So I really enjoyed it. Shout out Dreamhack. Excited for any future Dreamhack COD events.
Yeah, 100%. I hope to see more events like that for sure. It was a good time, and of course, like Chris said, shout out to Adam Apicella and everybody that made it possible, man. I mean, the event was great, bro. It seemed like everybody had a great time. So I'm excited. I'm excited for hopefully more events like that in the future, and I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there'll be some events. Hopefully like that one. But let's move on. Unless you guys, Pat, say you got anything you want to say on the overall weekend of the major? I mean, what'd you guys think?
Yeah, Pat.
I mean, I kind of said my bit, bro. It's like I'm totally fine to give credit where credit's due, but my focus is blaming the people who put us away from this. Like, we had this recipe, we did it for a decade. We knew this worked. We knew this was the most exciting for players, fans, everybody. A group of morons who had no idea what esports was about came in and decided to fuck it all up. So So yeah, I'm glad we're we're getting back to this. I just hope and pray that we stay on this track, bro, and we don't diverge from it again.
Right. 100%.
I share the same sentiments as Pat. I think a while ago I was just saying that I hope DreamHack is just such a massive success to the point where the people that are making important decisions for our league really see that like this is a viable option for our format or just the streaming in general going forward. So I think it was one of the more successful CDL events that we've had, if I'm not mistaken. I saw the numbers today. So, I mean, again, hopefully there's some formatting discussions for next season, seeing that multiple streams are just more Call of Duty action as opposed to having every shit team on stream all the time or any decision revolving around that. I think it went well. I was pleasantly surprised. And the quality, not even just that, the quality of games that we had this weekend, just the actual COD that we watched was the best all year by far.
Yeah. It was cool seeing all the CS guys there too. It was cool, like just like walking around. I mean, you have the obviously all the FaZe boys like in the FaZe HQ, but even just walking around the event and stuff. It was
apparently
cool.
the CS games were crazy.
Yeah, they were nuts.
Tom and I were eating dinner on Sunday with Tommy Temper and Nico came over. That was pretty cool.
Nico was hanging out. Yeah, shout out to Nico, bro. I've known Nico for a long time, bro. When he was playing with FaZe, and now he's with the Falcons, and he's going crazy, bro. It was good catching up with him. I got to meet a lot of players. I met Simple, Kerrigan. I've met. But I met Simple. I was actually at a table with Monacy and Apex from Vitality, and their stories about like the games and stuff, and just like they're so passionate about CS. Just to hear them talking about like breaking down plays and talking about like
mistakes.
Is
it the same way that like COD players talk about it?
Same way, bro. Like literally the same exact way. But actually, Asim was there too, and we were talking like, dude, this is literally exactly like COD. Like how they talk about it. Granted. We actually asked them, like, do you guys like COD? And they didn't say no, but we were like, come on, you could just say it. Like, if you don't like COD, you could just say it's shit. Like, it's fine. But they just, like, Nico said, he doesn't really play it, right? So he can't, like, really give
They don't associate with our filth.
Yeah.
Those Counter-Strike players are way too professional for us.
Yeah, but it was cool, bro. It was cool, like, hearing them talk CS, and meeting some of them, of course. But let's move on, unless anybody else got anything to say? Any other thing you want to get out on the weekend?
Shout out Adam AP, bro.
Shout out Adam AP, bro. Shout out to Adam. Good times hanging out with Adam this weekend. But let's switch it over, and let's talk about the biggest topic of the week. Dylan Attach, my duo, my brother. Getting rid of the sticks, man. He's hanging up the sticks. He's retiring. He's moving on. He's gonna move on to some different things and put his energy towards something else. And obviously, I have nothing to say. I mean, I could say so much more than. I could go on for days about what to say about Dylan Attach, right? I mean, he's just been an incredible talent all these years. He's a legend to the scene. He's been playing for over a decade. He's found so much success. His first event being a world championship, then winning multiple championships along the way. I had the honor of playing with him on stage, and obviously we built a lot of memories over the years and found a lot of success over the years. So I have nothing but love for Dylan, and I'm super excited to see where he's gonna go and what he's gonna do. And you guys know I love Dylan. I want to get him more involved, and again start making more content with Dylan. We obviously just did an IRL stream, but you guys know I love Dylan. So I wish him the best of luck in whatever's next. There's no doubt in my mind he's gonna kill it, and I'm excited for him because I think now's a good opportunity for him to kind of dip into other things and do other things. But shout out to Dylan, an amazing career, and it's been an honor, bro. It's been an honor playing with you and watching him play, especially these last few years. Just keeping the gas pedal down and keeping it going. It was cool to see you, man. And shout out to Mama Tats. I don't know if you guys checked out the retirement video, but it was a great video. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. That video had me tearing up, man. I was crying watching the video because that's my guy right there. So shout out to Dill. I'm going to give the floor to everybody else if they want to say something. Pat, we can start with you, and then we'll work our way down. But anything you want to say, Pat, to Dill?
Yeah, I mean, I still remember when Dill came onto the scene, bro. Just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And then, I think was playing with like Austin and like those Cali local teams. And then had his first come up with like Pac-Man and Looney in them, and then obviously joined the FaZe team, and everyone kind of knows the story from there. But
yeah,
look, man, it's another legend to the scene gone. It's always a sad day, but I think Dill will succeed in what he does next. I think he'll enjoy his time, not having to worry about scrimming professional COD. But yeah, I mean, Dill's an absolute legend and staple to the scene. So shout out to him, and wish him the best.
Yeah, Duarte, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing but love for Dylan. I still remember back in the day, I was, part of the West Coast scene. So I used to go to a lot of LANs. I'd played with Dylan. I played against Dylan. And just seeing his rise as a player, kind of like, even you, Tom, like back in the day was just crazy. Like, just seeing this guy that, at first you just didn't know what to think. He was a young kid and he was good. But then, like, now to see he pretty much has a ring. He's won incredible amount of championships. He's been a part of a lot of great teams. He's been a part of a dynasty ending team. Like the guy is a fucking beast, and he had an amazing career. And yeah, he's gonna do bits in literally anything that he does. He's just such a great person. I know a lot of like the fans, they don't necessarily know him on a personal level, but I assure you that he is just as kind as he seems. And same thing for his mom. She's always been super supportive of literally any of us, any of his friends. Like she's always saying hi at events. Like she's just such a kind person. And I mean, he just deserves so much, man. And I'm glad he had a successful career because he deserves it, and he's going to continue to be successful. So
Yeah, for sure. Well said, Duarte. What about you, Benjay?
Wow. I mean, my kind of experience with Dill really started when you guys started teaming on FaZe, and I kind of, from working with Clay and getting involved with y'all. And I always enjoy working with Dylan. He's had a fantastic career. One of the last guys out from that generation with Austin just left. Obviously a world champion on Denial. I think someone who's had a great career in COD. And I think, for Dill, someone that I think if content's kind of his next call, and I think he's got all natural tools to do it and kill it. So I'm excited to see what he's got going next.
For sure. Mr. LaRue?
Fuck, dude. It hurts to see like an OG go like that. I think Austin's legitimately the last one, other than if you count Tej, but
Hello, probably.
And Fellow, yeah. I've been on the receiving end of a couple of Dylan Attach's highlights, which are a little painful for me to watch as I reminisce through his video today. But I mean, dude, what you guys hit the nail on the head, man. Dill's one of the best people we have in this community, and I think the main thing is that he's not going anywhere. It seemed like he was still excited to stay in the community for COD and keep his head around. So that's really the main thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys said everything there is to be said. He's a great kid, and again, unfortunately, he beat my ass a fair amount of times.
Yeah.
I just hope he stops tweeting about the next COD is like
he
the
made
best
that
one
a
yet.
staple that the next game is going to be the greatest Call of Duty of all time.
He said that at the end of his retirement video. He says he has a feeling that next Call of Duty might be the best game of all time. So, we'll see what happens. But who do you think? I mean, it's actually kind of crazy that you said that, Sam. Right? Slasher and Tej and Fellow. Right? Those are like kind of the only ones left standing.
I think I count people that started like their professional careers in Ghost.
Yeah.
I think because that was the last boots on the ground era game before the whole jetpack, era took over.
Who came in after Ghost, Chad? Who came in around what? AW?
Yeah, it was AW.
AW, who came in, which is
Tyler,
obviously shortly
Kenny.
after. Yeah. They're kind of next in line after like the Slasher and Tej and them and Fellow, then Hook. Like all the guys who came in AW, like Kenny, Hook. Like they're
Tej was AW as well, technically, but he was around long before that.
Yeah.
He's went to events in Ghost.
Yeah, Tej's like professional debut was AW, but he was playing like tournaments and shit. And he was around way before that.
And Kenny and Collar and them had to take a few years off because of the age requirement.
The Halo debacle that they had
after AW. So
yeah. But shout out to Dylan. Can't say enough. I can't say enough about Dylan, bro. Great guy, great COD player. I'm excited for him. But let's move on. And let's talk about Champ Sunday, right? We obviously didn't have time at the end on Sunday to talk about some of these matches. So let's hop in and start with the first match of the day. We had LA Thieves going up against OpTic Texas. And this one ended with an LA Thieves 3-1 victory over OpTic. We start things off on a Skyline hardpoint, and that was a close one, man. That one, OpTic Texas was able to get the win. A big pinch from Dashy at the end to find two. And they get the job done on that last P3, 250 to 237. On that first map. So OpTic start off hot, but then kind of fall from there as the dealership search as LA Thieves get a 6-4 victory there. Hacienda control 3-2, and then Volt Hardpoint is where Thieves really put the nail in the coffin, 250 to 136. Closing out the series 3-1 over OpTic. We'll take a look at the stat sheet, and it's a red carpet for the OpTic Texas as they struggle to find kills in this one. 0.98 from Shotzi, a 0.94 from Merc, a 0.91 from Hook, and a 0.91 from Dashi. On the other side, you had a 0.91 from Envoy, but everybody else positive. A 1.21 in this series from Dan Ghosty. What a series from him. Got Hydra with a 1.11 and Scrap Ernesto with a 1.06. We'll scroll down and take a look at that match MVP. It's going to be Dan Ghosty with a 1.2 in Hardpoint, a 0.86 in Search, and a 1.33 in Control. Great plays coming in from Dan here in this elimination match. I mean, Sam, we'll start with you. We'll work our way up. LA Thieves, they come out saying these are your boys. Obviously, they went on to make a run. They come out and they take care of OpTic. What were your thoughts on the match? And how are you feeling during the match, Sam? Because OpTic came out hot, right? I mean, they came out from that map one. I mean, what were you feeling during that moment?
After the map one, I was a little concerned because although they won the tournament, I think Thieves Hardpoint was their weak moment for kind of the whole weekend. It wasn't as strong as it was online prior. So after they lost map one of this series, I was slightly concerned. But the main thing for OpTic was that the 2-3-5 was really like they just don't have the reps as a team. Obviously, they're much better with Merc. I think with time they would be incredible. I think this team could be really, really good. But again, they're just so far behind. Just on a time basis, that 2-3-5 against Thieves was always going to be a struggle. I think that the map 3 was really the series. A reverse sweep and the Hasi control kind of solidified it for me. If OpTic had won that, things could have definitely got a little interesting. But I think once OpTic lost the control, it was kind of chalked from there.
Yeah, I think the control was kind of like the swing. The only reason why I kept telling myself, I don't know, because so many teams were going up 2-1 this weekend and then throwing the series away. But, I mean, I just didn't see Thieves losing 2 hard points in the series. Especially with the way that they were playing. But Benjay, what do you think, Benjay? What are your thoughts?
I think OpTic's control looked great online, and they came to this event and weren't as good at it. I think the S&Ds are always kind of a question mark with this OpTic team, and I think they were super up and down in that mode. And to the point that was made by Sam, like at this level, you're probably going to split hard points usually in a series. And so 2-3-5 is really key to winning it. And I think with time, maybe with the 3 weeks or 4 weeks when you get going in the champs plus EWC, there's an opportunity where OpTic can really top out one of those game modes and make a deep run. But I don't think you could be, if you're an OpTic fan, if you're a member of the OpTic team, I don't know if you can be that mad by getting top 4 at this event and the teams that you lost to on the way there. Like they lost the 2 teams that made it to the final. So.
Yeah, they competed this weekend.
It's how the draw goes.
They did compete this weekend, and I mean they were definitely pushing the top teams to their limits. It was good to see OpTic actually compete, right, and not just like come out and get slammed, right? Like there were moments where I felt like they were winning the series and could have won the series. But what about you, Duarte? What did you think? What did you think of the series?
I mean, on the side of Thieves, they obviously won the tournament, so they played good COD. But I want to show some love to Dan Ghosty because Dan Ghosty had like I think 2, maybe 3 standout series this weekend where he played pretty damn good. So he's always going to be sideline when it comes to his team because you have players on that team like Scrap, like Hydra. But yeah, he played pretty good. But I wouldn't be mad for OpTic about how they lost this tournament because if you go look at like their match against FaZe and their match against Thieves, the first 3 maps were very winnable. And they could have easily 3-0'd in both series. Like they were really close games. So with the lack of reps they've had and in S&D and stuff like that, they still had a lot of really close search and destroys. Their control still looked really good this tournament. They won the majority of them, and even when they did lose, I'm pretty sure they pushed most of them to like that final round. They did get reverse swept in this one in the search in the control, which is kind of unfortunate because I think if they win that, with that momentum, they're going into a vault, which they're good at. Maybe that map either goes their favor or at the very least they push a rewind. But LA Thieves, man, their map pool. And it was pretty evident to me at that. We'll see it when we get to the grand final. But their map pool is so fucking insane that it's really hard to beat this team, man. They are good at like everything except for like one map, maybe in like a game mode.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I just think it's very similar to the phase of like if you're gonna beat them, you're gonna have to grind out and take that game 5. They're gonna make it an extended series. They're not gonna get 3-0'd. Yeah, you're gonna have to beat them on quality maps and bring your best day. I think for OpTic, it's just the same thing they've had at times all season. Like they are capable of playing 7 to 8 great minutes of Call of Duty against good teams. But the final 2 minutes of these maps is kind of where they've gotten in trouble with a bunch of their different team comps. So I think with more practice with this squad, maybe Brandon has a better event. They can be a little more clinical there, but it's just a tough bounce. I guess where the level's at is the top 14 of the 2 teams they lost to, or the 2 teams. We think are the best teams in the game.
Pat, Pat, where's your head at with these guys? What do you think? What were your thoughts on OpTic as a whole this weekend, Pat?
Well, I'll start with Thieves. Obviously a good win from them. I don't know what Chris was yapping about, bro. Ghosty had one good series. It was this one, and it's obviously
he had
against
a
the team that
good one
dropped
first
him.
round as well. First round of the tournament. He
Tom
fried.
just pulled up the stats, bro. He went negative every series but this one. But
Pretty sure, wasn't that
Ghosty
first
obviously fried against his former team. They shouldn't have dropped him. It's kind of like, and I don't know if you saw, but like at the very end, he stood up and he was like staring them down. So I thought that was cool. Ghosty.
Oh, Dan, when he was staring. Yeah,
at
okay.
the end of it when he won.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the flip side, on OpTic, man, it's weird, man. I don't know the comparison, but like I know before we were gassing Kyler a lot, and I'm not saying this was Kyler's fault, but I just don't think we're gonna get these series out of these players against these good teams in Black Ops 6 that when they win, we kind of talk and highlight. But against the top teams, I don't feel like we're gonna get those on land specifically. I know Ben, you were saying like Dashy needs to have a better event, but I really thought it was all of them. Like especially against the good teams, I just don't see them performing to the level that they need to beat them. And we can talk map pools all day long, but I think Thieves, FaZe, like Heretics, these guys are just better teams. And I honestly feel like OpTic's just limited in beating them. I don't see a world where they get it done in 5 in any series against them. So. I think top 4 is great, but I think that's their ceiling.
I think the only thing I'll say to that, because I figured you were going to bring that up, Pat. Like I this weekend, I don't think Kyler played that bad in Respawn, but
he didn't play bad, but he didn't play as good as we were gassing him before.
Wait, hold on.
I thought his surge fell off a little bit from online, and that was a big miss.
I gotta see something because I'm genuinely curious. Can you pull up the stats of each map? Because from what I remember, that 4th map that they played against this team tanked their stats heavily, but I'm pretty sure they battled pretty hard on the rest of them, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's map 1. So Kyler 1.2. So that shit's fugazi.
They got blown out map 4 bad.
Map 2, like Shotzi had a 1.29. Yeah, the rest of them maybe didn't play that good,
S&D,
but like,
bro. We're not talking about
okay, let's
S&D.
go to map 3. Okay, so Dashy's the one that fucking carried. But either way, that map 4 heavy tanked their stats.
What do you mean? Kyler is even right now,
0.7s.
and then he went neg 7 at the end.
Yeah, but
Bro,
even
bottom
for
line
his,
is
even is
in
not a bad stat at all.
It is when we're literally been talking about Kyler being like a 1.2 in these series online, and been like the reason that they're winning is because he's been frying.
When they have won the series, if you go and look at the rest of their tournament run,
Their online to land fall off is a thing. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
To be fair, Pat. To be fair, at this tournament they played Thieves, FaZe, Minnesota, and Thieves, and then online they had Vancouver, Boston, Carolina, Gentlemen's in Toronto. Like
they're beating up shitters, and we're gassing them, bro. This team is not top 4. They're not in the top 4 conversation.
They are top 4, bro. The only teams. I think we didn't see them play Miami. Okay, so I'll give you that.
They're worse than Miami.
See how they square Miami, but like they've beaten Toronto twice in 2 weeks, and they battled with these in FaZe. They kept them honest in the series.
A broken Toronto team.
They could have won the first 3 maps of both the Thieves and the FaZe series.
Yeah, they're a decent team. I just don't think that they're.
Listen, I get it. Listen, I get it, guys. It's the end of the month. No, I get it, bro. It's the end of the month. Prime subs are falling off. You gotta re-up. I get it, guys. But look, this team has an online to land fall off. Yes, they beat the shitter teams, bro. Congrats. We all know that. But I just don't think they have what it takes on.
You calling Toronto a shitter team?
Lately,
have you been the last 4 episodes? Yes, we've literally talked about Toronto being horrible.
That's your 2025 World Champs, Pat.
No, bro, that team should have an investigation open. They didn't get the Mercules. They had a guy on their roster and handed him away for nothing. Not to mention the year prior, they handed away Scrap and Envoy. Listen, Toronto's not a real org, bro. They're just funneling talent to the top teams. But anyway, yeah, I like I said, Tom, I think their online to land fall off is something to be talked about, and I just don't think they're going to beat these top teams at LAN events.
They just make too many mistakes. They don't play 12 minutes of great COD, and when you play like a Boston or Carolina or a Gentlemen's, you can get away with that. But against FaZe and Thieves, you got to play perfect, and I just think that we see them now multiple times playing those teams. They don't get 3-0 smoked off the map. There's just a difference of clinical execution between both teams is why this other team is not having
now we're giving credits to teams for not getting smoked off the map.
No, because they're battling, but the difference is not
thought they played
necessarily
well.
They went from top 8 to top 4, and they could have won both these series.
Yeah, Well, the phase one
Well, I don't
maybe.
know
This
what
is
Phase
we're
one,
watching,
the phase
bro.
one. Yeah, this one
Phase one, maybe.
this one
This
may be a
one.
little bit. Yeah.
All I'm saying is
I'm
you
saying they
guys-
could have won more
you
matches.
guys
More
talk
the
about
phase one.
OpTic
More the phase one than this
way
one.
Yeah, more the
different
phase
than
one
other
for sure.
teams, bro. If LAG played a team close, we're not sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, they could have won. It was close."
Wait, we
whatever.
have absolutely
What?
done that with LAG
Yes,
as
yes,
well.
we
No,
have.
no,
What are you
no,
on about?
we're not talking about them as a team. Yes, we could say the individual series they could have won, but we're not pretending they're some good team because they played one series close.
They got top 4.
Pat, let me ask
Who
you
did
this
they
question.
beat to get top 4, Chris?
Who right now would you put above OpTic in like power rankings?
Obviously Thieves. Obviously
Thieves, FaZe,
FaZe,
Miami.
Obviously Miami.
And
I
Surge.
think-
Vancouver.
I'd say
I
Surge
think
just because they've
Surge
had
is-
one bad
and I
event.
think Surge is better if they're playing
Better,
normal.
should've
They
been.
beat,
Sure.
didn't they beat Surge this split? They fucking beat
Yeah,
them.
the first series
Yeah,
was like Noah
but,
season.
yeah, okay. If we're talking about currently, but if we're talking about overall season, I'm still gonna like put more
I'm
stock
not
in
talking
the
about overall
Surge.
season. I'm talking about right now.
Bro,
Okay,
the,
then-
They
the, rea-
lost at this event. Like,
the
who-
reality-
Then you
Four
can,
top
then you
five
can
is
have the
tough.
argument.
I mean, top
The
four, you can argue
reality
top,
is-
or top
I
five,
think
you
we're
can
trying
argue
to
top
discredit
four.
these guys out of top 4, and I think that's crazy.
I think
the
they're
reality
top
is,
four.
I'm not.
OpTic is
They're
starting
there.
losers round 1 at champs. That's the reality.
Maybe,
Well, yeah.
So
or
we'll
maybe they finally
see.
get one over phase. We'll see, I guess.
Wow, okay. So we'll see what happens starting from losers round 1, where they go, what matchups they get, and if they can battle their way to top 4. I don't think they can.
All right. Anybody else got any other final thoughts on this series? I mean, listen. I think overall, I mean, in my opinion, I thought OpTic just looks so much better with Merc, bro. Like they've elevated a ton. I mean, they're definitely competing in these series. That FaZe series had me on the edge of my seat, bro. Like I feel like at champs, bro, especially with a few weeks of practice now, like, dude, it really is gonna come down to who shows up on a weekend. But I do think Thieves, as of right now, are just too strong, bro. Like Thieves are unreal right now, bro. Like they're insane. Like I feel like Scrappy's consistency throughout the year, who I think is probably the season MVP. I think it's probably Scrappy. I was leaning towards Simp going into the major, and then after the major, I'm like, dude, it's got to be Scrap. Like this guy's just back-to-back MVPs. He's been consistent from top to bottom from the start of the year to now. Who do you guys have as your year MVP? By the
Who
way,
got MVPs on phases back-to-back wins?
Simp got one of them,
Simp
and
and Cell?
Cell got the other. I
Crap.
think.
Crap, yeah,
Did
yeah. It was
somebody-
Simp and
I
Cell.
think
It was
Cell
Simp
got
and
the other
Cell.
one.
I mean, going into Major 4, was that a crazy comm to have one of the FaZe guys as an MVP going into Major
No,
4?
I had MC
No.
before this tournament.
People in the chat saying
the
it
thing
was.
with this MVP
no, I think it
race
was MC before this.
is that I think it's really close, and the way they
Oh,
do
yeah,
the
MC,
voting,
yeah.
like it's going to be really interesting to see that if Paco or like the teammates of FaZe and Thieves siphon votes from each other, is how all the categories smooth out. Like it can get real weird, but I agree with you, Tom. I think if I had to pick someone right now, it'd probably be Ernie.
I just don't think there's an argument against it
Yeah, I
being
think it's
Scrap.
Ernie.
I think he has back-to-back event MVPs. He hasn't had a point this season in which we've talked negatively about him. He hasn't gone through a single slump in a game mode. He has rare
Except
bad.
for
Like he has
Hasi
a
had the
bad.
hard
He
point.
has 6-19 on Hasi, like whatever. But like he hasn't had a moment this season where we've talked negatively about him. The consistency from the start of the season to now, bias aside, I genuinely don't think that there's an argument against it at this
So
point.
he's the only person with two major MVPs. He's got MVP on lock. It's over.
Yeah.
What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, I'd probably say Scrap too.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
this event locked it up. But again, I mean, I know the league does like regular season bullshit, but like I look at the whole year. So, if Simp can come in and win champs and fucking World Star, then I'll probably have Simp winning MVP. I think champs will be a deciding factor for me.
Yeah, I mean, Simp just this stage. Well, I think
He might have been the best player. I know LA Thieves won. I think Simp was the best player in that venue.
Yeah, I mean, that's
be
because
honest.
Sam dropped him off his fan, or Sam didn't have
It's
him on
because
fantasy.
it's because I dropped him off my fantasy team.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, that kid, like, they didn't win, so it's not really highlighted that much. I think Sim might have just had one of his best events, like, of all time, potentially.
Well,
Like
yeah.
he just played out of his mind.
He had a great stage, but I think he's had better events. Though he's had better events.
Oh, he's had
Yeah,
better events
he's
for
had
sure.
better
But I
events.
think that he had an insane event.
Yeah.
and it just like won't get talked about.
Yeah, but all right. Anybody else got any thoughts before we move on to the next series? All right, so next series of the day, we have Atlanta FaZe going up against the Miami Heretics. This was in the winners final. Loser drops down and plays Thieves. Winner moves on to the grand finals, and in this one, it ended up being Atlanta FaZe. We start things off on one of the craziest maps I've ever watched in Call of Duty history. A Hosty and a hard point that goes all the way down to the wire, 249 to 250.
Can I interrupt you really quick?
Of course you can, Sam, because this was unbelievable. Go ahead.
I think I think that might have been the best hardpoint I've ever watched.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Genuinely. There's been some, don't get me wrong, there are obviously some insane candidates. That might be the greatest hardpoint I've ever seen.
It was insane. That was actually insane.
If you guys have not seen it, listening to the podcast, go watch this map.
100%, bro. This was a crazy map, bro. Crazy map. Protocol Surge comes up after that. We'll talk about the first map, but we'll take a look at the ending of it. But Protocol S&D 6-4 for FaZe. FaZe bouncing back in the Surge. And then winning a 3-1 in control as well. And then a rewind hardpoint, which I think FaZe have been looking really strong on that map. 250 to 216 there against the Miami Heretics. FaZe win the next 3 and bump Miami down to losers. Let's go now, take a look at the stat sheets. Another red carpet. And this one goes to the Miami Heretics. We got a 0.99 from Super, a 0.86 from Rencor, a 0.9 from Real, and a 0.86 from Metals. On the other side, you had a 0.92 from Drosby, had a 1.08 from Simp, a 1.23 from Cell, and a 1.24 from Tyler Abizi. What a series from him. We'll scroll down, take a look at a match MVP. It's going to be Abizi with a 1.46 in hardpoint, a 0.4 in S&D, and a 1.13 in control. Good series from him, minus the search. Ben, we'll start with you on this one. Atlanta FaZe versus the Miami Heretics. Atlanta come out, they take care of business. I thought Miami, up until this point, I mean, they really have been pretty much perfect, right? I mean, these guys just haven't lost. I mean, these guys have been just showcasing themselves and really showing what they can do. What are your thoughts, Benjay?
I think a lot of credit in this series, I think, goes to, some work that FaZe did overnight between Saturday and Sunday on the Hacienda control. I was hanging out with a couple of the FaZe guys, me and Asim, Saturday night, and there were a couple of key things they wanted to do on Hacienda control to try and manage the clock a little bit better, manage the map a little bit better, so they can, kind of funnel the defense. I think it really ended up kind of swinging, was like a really first 2 close maps. They pretty dominated that Hacienda control, and then their rewind has been like pretty clinical most of the year, and then they closed out there. But I think Sam touched on it. This might have been like literally one of the best hardpoints I ever watched to start this series, and the protocol control is also high level as well by 2 good quality search squads.
Yeah, Duarte, what did you think of the series?
I think this series was just a product of the Tiny Terrors individually having 2 fuck you maps. You saw it on the map 2 where Simp dropped fucking 14 kills on Heretics' Nutsack, and then on the map 4 when Abizi dropped damn near 40 kills. And we know when Abizi has those series or those maps where with his high engagements and his playstyle and he's popping off, that guy is fucking insane. That map was like insane to watch because they had it on his POV for a lot of the time, and the shit he was doing was unreal, bro. That guy was getting lost. And Cell also had like 2 quality maps in the control and hardpoint. So Cell's consistency coupled with 2 fuck you maps, I mean, like, it was just unfortunate for Heretics because they usually play well against this FaZe team, but they just couldn't control the Tiny Terrors in this one.
Yeah, what about you, Pat? What were your thoughts? Miami get knocked down in the losers here.
I mean, I thought Miami looked great up in, even in this series. I'm going to go shout out to Miami in general. I think they just look phenomenal on the weekend. But FaZe is a tough team. Did you pull up the stats yet for this?
Yeah, I just read them out. You want to see them again?
Yeah, what did Real go in this series?
Real went, he had a 0.9 in this series. Made a 0.9.
Okay. I mean, we finally got a series where, Real and Rencor weren't absolutely world starring, which they had been every match prior to this. I agree with Chris, and I've talked about it before with, the other flank where I roasted Benjay, where he was like, oh, fucking Abizi can't, he's not getting kills, he needs to pick it up. Look, man, Abizi is Abizi. You don't look at that guy's KD.
Did you watch the first 2 maps of the series?
I did, and did you not hear what I just said? Did you watch? Have you watched the last 5 years of COD where you were calling for Abizi to get dropped, and then he's been doing this? Do you remember that bit?
What about his?
Do you remember that bit? Do you remember calling for Abizi to get dropped, and this guy is literally just doing it all sometimes?
We'll talk about Tyler.
You don't know how to evaluate Tyler,
We'll talk about
bro.
Tyler, but you're just trying to cover for the fact that I don't know if you watched the first 2 matches of the series because I think Rencor.
I did. Did Rencor and Real do what they had been doing all fucking tournament long?
Rencor played great in the first 2 maps.
Bro, I'm so tired of hearing someone playing good in a map, bro. How do they play in all the maps? He's 29-24, bro. That is not like some insane thing where if you go 11 and 19 and then 19 and 28 the last 2 maps, That doesn't pretend like you played great in the series.
We're KD watching. There was a point in that map 1 where Renko was having
It's pretty simple. It's if a guy is 1.25,
you didn't watch the map. You didn't watch the map. You're not watching the map. You're not watching the map. You're not watching the map.
He didn't play fucking.
You're not understanding. You're not understanding.
No, we're delusional.
We're KD watching. We're KD watching.
Tired of people giving
we gotta stop KD watching. We don't.
Bro, you
if
guys
we KD
give
watch, we're not watching.
24/7. Like, bro, let's be realistic in our takes. Yes, did a guy have a good map? Sure. Does that mean he played good in a series? No.
After like 3 maps, after three or 4 hills, Rencor was negative, and he was literally just having a rough map. Sure. And then Cell shot this fucker's body, and then he turned it the fuck around, and literally was one of the reasons why this team won that map. He had a fucking 1.2 on the map.
He won a map, guys. Man.
And then the second map.
He played so fucking great in a series. He won a map.
And then the second map, he was playing good the whole time. Simp literally just had a takeover.
Insane, bro. Listen, I wish I played in this generation, bro. We literally credit anyone for fucking anything, bro. We need to start being realistic. If people get shit on,
I think you need to stop screaming, to be honest.
Bro, you guys give credit 24/7.
We really don't. I very much sit on this show.
I haven't heard outside of the bottom.
We do.
Wait, outside of the bottom 4 teams, bro. I swear to God, I've never heard us talk about a team or player getting fucking shit on consistently. Just because they had one good map.
Because when you watch series against the top 4 teams,
Search was shit for a while. Tyler's Hardpoint was shit for a while. We shit on Vancouver for losing a couple matches. We shit on Miami's medals for inconsistency. We shit on Toronto for being bad at the beginning of the year for Hardpoint.
Yeah, but
listen, I'm sorry.
They had a bad map.
I'm sorry, but when we watch top 4 teams battle each other, there's far more nuance than somebody dropping a 1.2 and somebody dropping a fucking 0.9. If you go back and watch those maps, the difference between them getting 3-0'd or them keeping a series consistent is some individual maps where we have to look at them.
This, Rencor went fucking plus 50. And then he's a 0.8. Like, that is a fucking insane difference.
Yeah, but he's playing like they're playing FaZe. Like FaZe are gonna battle, and I thought Miami played good the first 2 maps. The problem is that, as we have talked about the last couple of months here, control is a very important swing mode, and then you go to a rewind hardpoint that has been a bread and butter map for FaZe, and that's really the difference in the series. FaZe kicked into 3rd gear, and Miami just couldn't match. GG's. It's how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where Ben came on the scene at, bro. Yes, Ben, everyone played great. They did a great job. Congrats to Miami for almost beating.
He said they played good in the first half and they played shit in the second half.
You almost got it done. Watch on the show, and I just don't know if you're.
You almost did it, guys. Let's give them the credit. They almost got the job done. They deserve the appreciation.
I don't think you're sitting here watching. You know.
I just think you were born in the soft generation, bro, of COD. That's all I think. You got to give credit to anybody.
You're sitting there not watching. You're not watching the games.
I think the problem, Pat, is that they're banning THCA and a bunch of other stuff. Delta 8 in Texas. I think you might have smoked a little too much today, brother.
And I could never watch COD again, and I will know more about COD for the rest of my life than you.
Well, I didn't see.
What do you think of the series, Tom?
So far?
All right, let's move on to the next series, gentlemen. We got the Miami Heretics going against the Los Angeles Thieves, and man, oh man, did Thieves put their balls on the table in this one? I think the little argument that went down between Scrap and Super, there was definitely some bad blood in this one. I mean, they were going at it for sure. I mean, LA Thieves Vol Hardpoint 250 to 202 in the first one. The red card search 6-3 in the S&D, and then the Volt Control 3-1. LA Thieves taking all 3 maps. We'll scroll down, take a look here at the stat sheet. We had Rencor with a 1.05 and Real with a 1.08. But
I think Metals played pretty good this series, Tom.
No. Nope.
I think he almost got it done. I think there was one map Tommy played phenomenal, so I want to give him his credit. I think it was map 1, I believe, or maybe 2. I can't remember, but he was absolutely phenomenal, bro.
It's a generational.
Yeah, and Super again. I mean, we've been talking about this guy all year long. I think he played well. as well. You know, don't look at his KD. I think the plays he was making on the map, Tom.
Right.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
Right.
Listen, bro. Listen, listen. You want this is why there's just so much more nuance than KD. You're gonna sit here and say Metals and Super got shit on. Yes, they did, but so did Real and Rencore. I don't give a fuck if they had a 1.8 or a 1.05. The difference between fucking 4 extra kills on the map is not gonna justify me saying they played good. We gotta stop KD watching that.
18 more. What do you mean 4?
No, 62 to 59. That's like
62 minus 44, brother.
That's 3. See, I'm looking at 62 to 59. Rencore's KD, a 1.05. You're not going to say Rencore got shit on?
You said kills compared between his teammates.
No, I'm talking about between his fucking KD. They all got shit on. I don't care about the scoreboard. The scoreboard is irrelevant sometimes, and that's something that you need to learn to do, to look at, or maybe watch the game. The Miami Heretics in this one got absolutely fucking twerked on, bro. They got shit on.
You literally just spent a whole fucking episode bitching about how you got pushed out of your circle and were teaming with garbage kid getting shit on the entire second half of your career. Maybe if you paid attention to the goddamn scoreboard, that wouldn't have happened to you.
The KD's irrelevant here. The KD's irrelevant here.
Shit on being like, guys, I'm making the right play. Don't drop me. I'm making the right play.
KD's irrelevant here. KD's irrelevant here.
All right, let me have the floor. Let the host have the floor here.
You're telling your teammates?
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. I always had good KDs, but I was still getting shit on.
All right. Hold on. Let me have the floor here.
With amateurs on his team.
Let me have the floor, guys. Let me have the floor. All right, Sam, let's go over to you. All right, let's go over to you, Sam.
I was a joke. No, throw it back to Pat.
Sam, I want to get your thoughts, Sam. So
I got no thoughts. Back to Pat.
All right. First and foremost, hold on. Let me get through. Hold on. Okay. Super had a 0.87, Metals had a 0.71. On the other side, you had a 1.35 from Scrap, a 1.18 from Hydra.
This is a fuck you series, bro. This was a 3-0. This was a I'm better than you. I don't have a gunship on. I deserve to be in finals, and you don't. Shit on bad.
Absolutely. And a 0.93 from Dylan Envoy. Match MVP is Scrap. Okay, he had a 1.3 in every fucking game mode. Okay, God's a season MVP. Okay, Benjay, let's go to you. What did you think of the series? You agree with Sam? Do you think this was a wash? LA Thieves just outclassed the Miami Heretics in this one? Just too much for him. What do you think, Benjay?
I think Thieves obviously got a little bit of fire after that match they played earlier on the day. I think Miami obviously a little bit heads down after losing the FaZe and winners finals. And I think for Thieves, obviously they're motivated after their loss to Miami earlier in the tournament. I think the combination of that, the first map was fairly entertaining. I think at one point it was pretty close near the end. I think
the P2s killed Miami.
Yeah, around the last P2, I think Scrap in particular really kicked up. And from there, I think Thieves kind of saw it through. I think Thieves' S&D was really good all weekend. And so Red Card, S&D being second map, that's like their bread and butter maps. I just think for Miami, it was a great run, but they just didn't execute at the high enough level on Sunday required to win an event or make a final. It just kind of is what it is.
I'm going to give credit to a loser here to cut you off really quick, Ben. Pat, I don't want you to get angry. I don't want you to get upset.
No, go ahead. That's what we do nowadays.
Of course. I think that this is how Miami played this weekend is just the ceiling for a non-Thieves or a non-FaZe team. Like we've seen it with Vancouver, obviously making a final, I guess technically is, but I just don't ever expect a non-Thieves or FaZe team to actually get over the hurdle and beat these guys in a final or like make a meaningful impact. We've seen Vancouver do it. We've seen Miami do it twice now with the top threes. I don't know if we're going to see the level required to beat this kind of team, though I still want to tip my cap to Miami because I'm a big fan of their team, the season that they've had, the criticisms that we've had with their system and being Spanish only. They're an extremely consistent team and they're a very good team, but I think the ceiling in which this team has is second or third. I don't see them winning.
It's just peak for peak. It's peak for peak. If FaZe and Thieves are playing at their peak and Miami's playing at their peak, it's just not winnable. They have to catch these teams on an off day. But it's still tippable with how far they've gone. They've made a lot of progress as a team, and I'm still a fan. I don't care.
Oh, I love Miami. I love watching them play.
Yeah, I love watching Miami play too. They're an exciting team to watch, bro. They got a lot of pace for sure.
I just think the thing with Miami is once you get rid of Skyline Hardpoint in the series, they're like I think 11 wins and not many losses on the map this season. The rest of the maps are going to be fairly 50-50, or if not in their favor against top teams. So to the point of I don't know if you just said it, Pat. Like that's where the S&D run they've been on has been very helpful. He's been able to like 3-1 a bunch of these series or win the game 5. But yeah, if the S&D is not clicking and you got to play FaZe or Thieves in control, which is team number 1 and team number 2 in that mode.
wash,
It's
bro.
gonna be really tough.
Absolute wash.
Yeah.
I think this was a revenge series from Scrap. I think Scrap definitely came into
100%.
this one and he said, you know what, this guy, you know, the way everything happened on stage and shit, I think Scrappy came in and said, you know what, I'm taking the fuck over. And I think that's what happened. Scrappy went crazy this series.
Hey, hold on. There's one player that I want to show love to in this series because the KD doesn't reflect it. But Envoy, he had 2 fucking insane maps, map 2 and map 3. He fucking fried in both of them.
Envoy's underrated in general. He's underrated in general with
He
daily
fried
Thieves.
in both of those maps. And hey, I mean, if you're
1v3 was this
scoreboard
series,
watching,
right?
I think so.
Bro,
if you're
the-
scoreboard
the
watching,
Sam's-
you wouldn't know.
To Sam's point, Chris, you were literally not even watching the games required, bro. You were
Oh, yeah,
rating
my
all
fault.
weekend long. Yo,
Oh, yeah. I was fully not on the couch during this
to
series.
Sam's point, like, I agree with him, but also, bro, this team kind of against these top teams relies on Rencor or Real to fry. Like, do you guys think if Rencor didn't have a fucking takeover series the first time they played, they would have beat them?
No,
And
they
even
was-
then, it was close. So it's like
a 1.5.
I think Miami can like safely go to venues or go to tournaments and be like, yeah, you know, we can beat every team here. But unless we, you know, fucking pull one out of our ass against FaZe and Thieves when they're on and get a Neslo win, I don't see them winning against them ever. To be honest, like without one of them just massively overperforming. And on the side of Heretics, again, I want to reiterate, like, I don't think they just like made improvements as a team. What they did was make roster changes. That's how this team got better all year long.
Metals has absolutely made improvements as a player.
I mean, he kind of reminds me of Nero. Yeah, he's gotten better than
he got
where
fried.
he was.
This is a very poor example for me to set on my hill for negative 18.
But even then, like, he's still kind of a hit or miss for me, bro. Like, I agree with you. He did
lately,
improve. He was
disagree.
awful in
since,
the previous
since the middle of
iterations.
stage 3. I disagree.
I don't feel like I can watch this guy consistently from a tournament and be like, okay, I can rely on this guy to give me something every single map. I mean, obviously not every map. No one's perfect. But like, I feel like he's doing worse more often than he's doing better.
That's every team outside of literally Thieves and FaZe right now, though. Literally every team has that.
Dan's a consistent 0.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dan.
But whenever they
Dan
go
who?
into Dan, you talking about Dan Ghosty?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Dill has hit or miss respawns. Dill has serious
yeah,
I
negatives,
feel like too, when you go into the
I mean, like,
listenings,
they're-
Dan is such a big
they're
part
on-
of this
they're
team.
on
Oh,
the
of course,
teams
no,
with
I'm just
reigning
saying
MVPs.
statistically,
Like, they
that's
don't.
past
They have
comparison.
to.
Yeah.
Same with the Beezy. Like, he's not gonna get every fucking kill, but like,
I know,
just
but
think-
why does that work for those teams and not for this case?
Because they don't have people as good as fucking the teammates that they have. Like, that's the problem with these
not
top
everyone's
teams.
gonna fry
is-
all the time, though.
Yeah, but that's the problem with these
Can't have
top
4
teams. Is
1.2s.
they're so out talented that like you can't have any weak links at all.
Yeah, no, I
That's
see what
fair.
you're saying for there. That is
that's-
also a
that's
fair
fair.
take.
But I think I'm still gonna give Metals his flowers. He had a negative 18 here, but from like you called him Nero, and we were calling him Nero for a while, but
I mean, I
again,
think he's a better Nero. Like,
from stage 3 to now.
lower ceiling, but
I don't know
higher
if Tom's
floor.
gonna be able to pull up his KDs going back that far, but he's wildly improved. He used to
had
be
one-
0.7 or 1.2, and now he's like 0.9 consistent, which is
He had
what you need.
He had one bad series in the online qualifier of the stage, if I remember correctly, and
Like,
then
what
the
he's
rest of
doing
them.
is where he needs to be. For
Or
this
was
team
it?
to be
Or was it the
consistent.
last one? I don't remember. It was when they brought in Super. He had one bad online map or match, and then he pretty much like played really good the rest of them.
Yeah.
And he's a big reason why they beat FaZe too.
I mean, also the way Metals plays too. I mean, dude, listen, like,
Leads to inconsistency.
yeah. I mean, it's just like a play style thing too, right? Like finding his gears. I mean, again, I'd rather have a sub player that's going negative, like actually making plays on a map and actually fucking doing something, than a sub player who never takes risks, never like does anything, and just like plays basic as fuck and just does nothing and makes no plays. Like Metals ain't scared to make a play. Like, he'll make a fucking play if he has to make a play, and he'll do it with confidence, and he'll pull off a lot of those plays a lot. Especially Sam, like you said, I think it was probably like around like middle stage 3. Like he's been fairly good.
After that interview, the interview where he brought
He
up
took
like
accountability.
after that, literally that interview was the turning point for like his consistency as a player up to now.
Yeah, I actually agree. I feel like, dude, I actually like watching Metals play. Like I enjoy it. It's kind of the same thing with a Beezy, right? He's had a lot of ups and downs, and he has like negative maps, but like I want to see subs making plays. I don't want to see subs just like, doing nothing, right? In order to win and get to like top 4 places, top 3 placings, you have to make plays on a map. Like you can't just like play basic, right? And Dan Ghosty is another one who like I feel like the KD doesn't really showcase like what he's actually doing. Because I feel like Dan's like the perfect gap filler. Bro, Dan was pulling out a Jackal so much more this event and getting in the mix so much more. Like, it was actually cool to see. Like, pushing out
That's
cuts.
because your boy Ernesto never likes to pull out a fucking sub.
Yeah, Ernie doesn't like to pull out a sub, which, I mean,
Dan's
honestly,
the real flex of this team. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
he is. He's the real flex. Like, I don't think Ernie likes to run a sub, and Dan was doing such a good job. Like, bro, because it's not just about him pulling out the sub, but it's also about, like, the aggression he's adding with the sub, right? Like, he's playing like a sub player when he pulls out the sub. Like, he's not playing like an AR with a sub in his hand. Like, he's literally playing like a sub player, like taking routes, fucking getting in the mix, pushing out cuts, like getting mixy, popping pieces. Like, bro, it was cool to watch. Like,
The listenings tell you more than the scoreboard does with Dan.
yeah,
Sure.
Dan had a whole nother bag this event, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I felt like we saw more of him on the sub.
Wasn't he always a flex though in his come
Yeah,
up?
he was.
Yeah, in challengers he was. Yeah.
I'm just Pat. I just think he's doing it more. I feel like he's getting more comfortable, like just switching and like he's taking more risk. But I mean, the one map in particular I can remember is like the Hacienda, bro. Just like low, how he's just pulling out a sub and just roaming low secret. And I think last series he won like a 7 spree in low secret to like end the series. Just like shit like that, bro. Like just having that takeover potential on a sub. Like he could just play both guns. And then on top of that, the listenings, you could just hear him. He calms everything. Like he's a big part of the team, bro. Like Dan is definitely a big part. So I feel like the scoreboard doesn't always showcase.
Also, if you guys watched last season on when he was still on Thieves, but with the old roster, that guy was popping takeover on a lot of series in their run with like Joe Kremp.
That's why I was high on him when he was on OpTic, because I knew the kind of player he was in challengers before, which was like kind of how he was on Thieves last year. And then he went to OpTic and became a role UAV guy, and then goes back to Thieves and is then like a main Slayer, like KD guy again. Like the versatility that Dan has, same with Dill. I think they're both extremely malleable players. I think that's what makes this team click so well. Obviously, you have fucking Scrap and Paco, but
who found Ghosty? Is that Doug?
Doug Sensor fucking Martin, baby.
Doug had him at his house. He stayed at Doug's house for a little while. That's his godfather right there. But any final thoughts on Miami? Because obviously they get eliminated here. They get a top 3 placing.
What's their seed for champs?
I don't know. Anybody got the standings? What is their
Ben,
seed?
you got that
I
shit?
think it's fifth.
I'll tell you right now.
Are they Vancouver in round 1?
Yeah, I think Vancouver's still ahead of them because of the back-to-back finals. I think they are.
Are they Toronto or Vancouver round 1?
They play Vancouver round 1.
That's a fucking banger.
So they got fifth by I think about like 40 points.
That's a banger, dude. I'm high on Miami,
Surges.
man. I really am. The whole dynamic of Surge Vancouver and Toronto, or Surge Vancouver, Surge Miami and Toronto, I think is so fun. This whole season, it's been great watching them like improve and have like their valleys or whatever. But I'm just excited to watch and see which one of them actually shows up.
Yeah, for sure. Any other thoughts, guys, on Miami? Because we're going to talk about these FaZe coming up here in the grand finals. But any other thoughts you want to give to Miami?
Miami needs like 1 to 2 more bread and butter hard points to actually challenge a FaZe or a Thieves. Because I think they can figure out S&D execution more consistently on land. Control, I just don't think they were going to figure out against FaZe and Thieves. I think that's an unlikely thing. But I think if they can find a good bread and butter set up 2 maps going into champs, I think they have a realistic chance to like.
I think their hard points
crack
been damn.
one of these eggs with the right motion on Saturday night to like make it to the grand finals.
I think their hard points good. They've been a lot of the times they upset these teams. Like they're doing off the back of the hard
I'm not saying
points
it's
somehow.
bad, Chris. I'm just saying they don't have like, bro, like they don't have like FaZe
Hasi
Thieves, for
Vault against
example. Like
Thieves
they
is
don't
really-
have that like red card hard point style like
No,
in a series and you win rewind hard point.
You want? We'll get to it when we get to the grand finals, but I don't want anyone. You're not even gonna be able to compare FaZe to Thieves' map pool. Not a single team you can compare to. And I'll dive more into that when we get to this one because holy fuck.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. We got the grand finals to end the weekend. We got Atlanta FaZe going up against the LA Thieves, and this was a 2-4 finish in favor of the LA Thieves. It starts off hot for LA. They go up 250 to 177. They win the first hard point red card. Then we get into a rewind S&D, 6-4 to LA Thieves there. So they go up 2-0. I'm on the couch. I'm quiet. I'm losing full. My chat's cooking me. They're all super chatting. Ha, 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 ha. You stay quiet, pussy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm sitting there all pissed off. Then FaZe. They bounce back. They win the protocol control. They go up 3-2. And Skyline Hardpoint, they win that one, a close one there, 250 to 235. Now I'm standing up. I'm telling my chat to go fuck themselves. We're yelling at each other. Shit's going down. And then I sat right back the fuck down after these last 2 maps because, man.
You're lucky I wasn't in that call.
Yeah, I'm very lucky Sam wasn't there. I'm very lucky because because I sat right back down. And I went right back to being quiet. Because then we go to a red card S&D. We lose 6-3 in that one. LA Thieves with a big win there. And then they 3-0 in a Hacienda Control, which, man, oh, man, was that a bloodbath. We'll take a look at that Hydra 4-piece because that was unbelievable. And then, of course, we'll take a look here at the stat sheet. We had a 0.9 from Abizi, a 1.13 from Celium, a 0.82 from Draza, and a 1.05 from Simp. On the other side, he had a 1.09 from Envoy, a 0.85 from Dan Ghosty, a 1.14 from Hydra, and a 1.05 from Scrap. We'll take a look at a match MVP. It's going to be Paco with a 1.10 in Hardpoint, a 2.22 in Search, and a 1.0 in Control. What a series coming in from Hydra. Sam, we'll start with you. LA Thieves, they come out, they take care of business against Atlanta FaZe. And started off with a great series. And then towards the tail end, I feel like Thieves just kind of woke up and just said, you know what, let's end this right here, right now. And that's exactly what they did. What were your thoughts, Sam? What were your thoughts on the series?
First and foremost, the search and destroy strength from Thieves all weekend, I think, really won them the event. They were basically lights out in the mode. But whenever these two teams play, I'm always looking at control. They're 1A and 1B in the mode. It is, without a doubt, the defining moment in every single series that they play. So the reverse sweep on the Proto had me fucking tweaking.
Yeah.
I thought that it was about to get real bad after that control. Take the momentum, especially, again, going into the Skyline. But the search and destroy fallback, which is usually something that FaZe has in their bag, being able to immediately stop momentum with a 6-3 red card was massive. And then obviously into the Hasi, I think they kind of rolled over. Paco kind of just called game on that map. But I mean, what a fucking final, dude. The only time that we get a good one is when these two teams play, which is unfortunate. But hopefully we get a rematch in Champs Finals because I don't want any sort of wash. But I think Thieves Neslo maps or game modes, were 100% the reason that they won this tournament. Their hardpoint didn't look great, which I'm sure they're going to focus on in the month leading up to Champs. But the search and destroy and control, without a doubt, won them the tournament.
I actually, this clip that I have on the screen now, I actually showed this clip to all the CS guys when we were sitting at the table, and even they were like, dude, this guy's disgusting. Like, the way he was... I think Nico even said the way he's whipping his sticks, like the way that he's whipping around, like this shit looked crazy. Like it just looked, like, bro, this had to be, matter of fact, let's tune into a quick listening on this 4-piece when the crowd erupted. This was probably one of the best 4-pieces ever. Like this was insane. Let's tune in.
Personal stuff now to work with. A lot of damage into Abizi. No trade in yet. Hydra, what's his timing going to be like? Looks like it's going to be good. The movement is there, and that is just incredible out of Hydra. Are you kidding? My God, he is special, and he is still going. What is that? Round 1 is done.
I mean, listen, I heard the story. He asked for a raise after a meeting.
Pay him whatever he wants.
Pay him whatever he wants. Yeah, give him this raise. The snap, the dive, the re-snap, pulls out the knife, the reaction. All 4 dead. Round 1, Thieves.
Okay, so that was like fucking gross, right? I mean,
he probably got so much dope, right?
Oh,
imagine,
dude, 100%.
Imagine his teammates just capping B, staring at the kill feed.
Yeah, you're feeling real good. You know what I mean? When your teammates doing that.
That's the real dope.
Yeah, dude, he was insane, bro. Just being able to make that individual play, just what a highlight from Hydra, right? That was crazy. But Pat, let's go over to you. What'd you think of the grand final, Pat?
I thought it was a good series. I'm curious though, and I'm not hate watching. Can you click on Draza really quick?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm usually not. I feel like Draza has been saying like for the past month, like, oh, I got shit on. We'll be back. We'll be back.
I think he's been playing well, to be honest. I don't think he's been getting shit on, but
I mean, he's been tweeting like he had a rough series, even though they're like when they win, like I swear he's had a rough month or so. Obviously, I mean, you can't really look at the series he plays against the shit teams. Like they're always he could be, he could be sick. He's always going to world star the shit teams. But like I'm curious, what he's been like, against the top teams in the last like month or so. Because I feel like it hasn't been his usual self. This guy was, for the most part, since they made this team, like he's been up there in the conversation of being like still one of the best players on this team at times. But I feel like I haven't seen that from him recently, at least. And looking at this series in particular, I was like, okay, damn, this might have been one of those series as well. But yeah, I mean, like I think Scrap and Hydra had an absolutely phenomenal final. I'm curious though, like on paper, I don't have Thieves necessarily being a better search team than this FaZe squad. So I'm wondering if FaZe can really like, you know, hone in on their S&D. If this is a champs grand final, like could this go the distance? Because I mean, Sam, you brought it like they're 1A 1B in control. I think they could also be 1A 1B in search, and
That's
obviously search was lopsided here.
Go well, or whenever they play. I don't think either one of these got maybe Hardpoint. You could maybe give the edge. But I really don't think in any mode that there's a real defining team. I think these guys are so good down the line, like record aside. I think when they play each other, it's such high caliber in every mode that's why we get these styles of maps. I don't think that there's any real advantage.
I disagree, and I want to preface this by saying we were talking about FaZe's hardpoint being terrible. Last stage, it was terrible. This stage, it still was not that good. The only thing they really got an improvement on was getting that rewind hardpoint into their map pool, but even then, it was still kind of iffy. The only reason their hardpoint was good at this event, and one of the main reasons was because Simp literally went from a 0.9 online in hardpoint to a 1.5 online or on LAN at the major. So I still like, obviously Simp is very capable of having those types of events pretty consistently, but I am still not so sure about their hard point. When I
give the edge in that mode.
OpTic fans wish their sub improved from online
when
to LAN. Wow.
I don't know if Simp ended with a 1.5. I remember the graphic coming up on stream, I think either Saturday or like at the beginning of Sunday, so bear with me, but it was there on the broadcast. Anyways, the reason when we were talking about the other teams, when you guys were like comparing, oh, this team needs to improve this map pool, this whatever, bro, do not compare anybody's map pool to this Thieves team. They have one map that they can't play. It's literally one map. It's the fucking Protocol Search and Destroy, I think, is that they don't play.
They don't play Proto.
Every other map, you look at this series and tell me there's a weak map for this team in this series. Even FaZe, who is the second current best team in the game, they don't have a fucking leg up on them in this series. Yeah, they might have won 2 maps, and yeah, against other teams, they might be competitive on a couple of these maps, but holy fuck, when I saw this, I was absolutely mind blown because it made me finally realize that Thieves, their final form, their map pool is fucking incredible, bro. Like the fact that they have like literally 5 or 6 bread and butters in a fucking best of 7. What is like the only way that this FaZe team can get a leg up on them is if they start playing Vault, which they haven't been playing, and that's like they've been kind of avoiding that Vault control. They haven't got good at it. They might try to get good at it for champs. And then outside of that, what else are they supposed to do? They vetoed rewind hardpoint. That shit's fucking over. Like it. What do they have to play?
You're saying Thieves veto rewind hardpoint.
Yeah. They have no leg up in this series, and if FaZe,
I don't know.
FaZe
Hold on, Chris. I think you're kind of overblowing it because I think the difference in these two teams is Thieves' offenses on search were actually good this weekend, and FaZe kind of bluffed their way through S&D all weekend, being terrible on offense in virtually almost every series they played.
FaZe do need to get FaZe do need to get better at search,
and they just could not get bloods.
Well, I'm not saying that FaZe is.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying that FaZe isn't possible to get there, but just like objectively looking at it here, FaZe did not have a leg up at all. Yeah, FaZe could play better, and every team can play better and potentially beat this team. But in a best of 7, especially when they're coming in, they're coming in like this. Like there's just no leg up, dude.
I think the margins are way closer than you think, Chris. I think the difference in these two teams.
I don't think so.
Because if you look at the split here, like I think the difference in the two teams, they split the controls, they split the hard points, bro. Is the searches. I think Thieves on both sides of the ball in S&D was way better, and FaZe, as the weekend got on, could not find first bloods, especially on offense. And when you play red card S&D and you're playing every round 3v4, it's going to be almost impossible to win unless the defense is just actually.
Of course, that's how the maps went down. I'm merely saying from a map pool perspective, there's not a single weak map in this entire best of 7 for Thieves. Not a single one.
All I'm saying is if FaZe picked the chose to play red card over Vault, they win that map. Your perspective in this series is completely different. Is all I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. The fact that there's
multiple bread and butters.
My point is the fact that there's a 10-0 map in the rotation for the best of 7. You lost. There's a fucking 10-0 map up there.
It's about red card.
Yes.
I mean, FaZe is undefeated on red card going into the series for the last like 9 times they've played.
I know. It's like their only choice, right? Because it's one of their stronger maps, but like you're still giving them their best map all season.
I don't disagree. I think their map pool is deeper, Chris, but I think that I agree with Ben. I think you're kind of overblowing it a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I just don't think
veto list watching right now?
No, I think that
like
is going about it the right way. I just think like the takeaway I have in this series is not the map.
It's the searches, bro.
I think
it's the way they play. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the way they play. Of course,
I agree that the Thieves have the deepest map pool, but when these two teams play, I really don't think it fucking matters.
Yeah,
I think it's just pure like who shows up and makes the play on the in the moment kind of thing. Because like we could be looking at this like, look, when they don't play red card, they play vault. Maybe it goes differently. If Thieves don't get reverse swiped on a proto, it's like a 4-1 final. Like whatever, a million things could have happened. But when these two teams play each other, I feel like map pools aren't not important, but it's just a matchup, bro. These guys just love playing each other. The games are always close and they always level up every time. And I just appreciate that in an extended final or an extended series. Like, sure, we could analyze the maps and say fucking Thieves are 10-0 red card, whatever. When they play, I don't give a fuck because it's always going to be good. I really don't think it's that important for the most part.
Yeah, I wasn't looking too into the vetoes, to be honest. I thought we had a good series. I thought Thieves just closed out, bro. The way Thieves closed out, they just looked like the stronger team to me. They were just playing better COD than
I also think Thieves is way more prepared in search. Like they had to have done like a lot of like VOD review, way more prepared.
I agree with Ben, and Ben, I don't know what the stats are, but it did seem like FaZe couldn't get bloods this event. I don't know what the stats were like on that, but in S&Ds,
I don't have because I don't think Turtle updated yet. But like they really struggled with their subs to get bloods.
Yeah, they did have a hard time getting bloods for sure.
I'm gonna be honest, and like maybe FaZe fans won't like this online. You know, a lot of the way that Rewind S&D plays is they do kind of rely on Zach and MC to win like the burger fights, outer lane fights, and they weren't winning them in this one. They weren't winning the top window fights or like the mid square ups off the rip and red card. So like it's not, you can't throw it on Tyler and Chris.
Scrap
the
was
ARs over and also winning the square ups either.
Bro, Scrap had like 5 first bloods in one map. He was like,
it was the rewind.
It was insane. He was just picking them apart.
Hey, bro, the whole red card, all him and Cell were doing was squaring through P1 every round. They were just fighting each other every round. That was their first blood strategy, square mid-map. Like, that's all it was.
Yeah, Scrap wasn't losing that.
To Sam's point, it's just on the day, right? When they had played earlier this split on that first week, FaZe just kind of demolished them in 3 maps, many of which there were in this pool. It's just kind of how it goes. I think Thieves were just a more go team across all 3 modes. And for FaZe, I think their hardpoint was like pretty fucking good this weekend.
Okay,
the control was solid.
Question for everybody. Do we think FaZe's hardpoint was better? Or do we think Simp was better? Do you think that they addressed any issues that they had, or do we think that Simp was dropping 1.5s?
I think it was a little bit of both. I definitely think Simp is teed the fuck up, but I think they looked a little bit better. They just like in the crucial moments, it felt like they were making the right play. Where when they were in that stretch, but when they were in that stretch, Sam, it looked really bad.
It was really fucking bad.
It was fucking horrible.
But like,
bro.
I'm asking that question because I didn't see, because usually when you improve in a respawn mode, KDs will generally elevate across the board, right? Because you just have a better understanding. You're putting teams in worse spots. You get a couple freebies here and there just from setups or whatever. I feel like performance-wise, we kind of saw something similar. Like Tyler he had a couple hard points this weekend where I was like, okay, he's kind of here to play. But in the finals, I think he kind of got shit on in hard point, if I remember correctly. Like Zach, again, to Pat's point earlier, he didn't play phenomenal throughout the whole event in hardpoint specifically. MC, I feel like kind of had a slow event up until Sunday, right? I don't think he was like MVP caliber.
A bad search event.
We see Simp dropping 1.5s in the mode, and I'm like, do we think that this is like? I'm genuinely asking the question. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Do we think that they got better?
I don't think they improved. I mean, I said earlier, I don't think they improved
Sam,
that much.
I'm gonna be honest. I think obviously I think Chris and Tyler actually didn't have bad hardpoint events. I do think their hardpoint got better. They just don't. They had like a lot of clean hardpoint wins in this event, mind you. Obviously against teams that aren't LA Thieves.
That's what I don't care about anyone that isn't like Thieves, Miami, whatever.
At the end of the day, they still split the hardpoints with Thieves in the series. You know what I'm saying? Like they still, I think their hardpoint is still in a good enough spot that if they can actually go to an event and play A-level S&D, like they're probably going to win. I think they played B- S&D this weekend, and this is what you get when that happens. Because I just think also in the beginning of this series in the first 2 maps, I don't think their teamwork was very good. I know Thieves are great on red card, but like, bro, that first map, some of the plays that I was seeing in like the multi-kills these were getting, like I swear people on FaZe are just
The
not calling out
P2
of
traps that
listening.
Thieves had them in it was impossible.
It's just like, are we just not listening? Like, are we not paying
It was
attention to how we
impossible.
want to play? Like, some of that just teamwork shit, just not doing shit together. So
I don't think they improved. To answer your question, I don't think they improved that much. I think it's just like insane performances out of individuals, mostly simp. Like you saw it in this fucking thing when Skyline simp had a 1.5.
Simple, or MC had a crazy map too.
Yeah, he did too.
1.7.
But Cellium has also been relatively consistent. So a lot of the time, I don't like hyper fixate on his KDs and like hard points, for example. It's usually it's always going to come off the back of like a BZ or Simp usually, because they're the ones that have struggled in hardpoint the most. But like if you go down the line of all their hardpoints this weekend, like there's one player on their team that probably dropped like a 1.4. So I don't think they improved that much. But dude, if you go back and watch that red card, I don't think even though they were winning fights, Thieves, they didn't make a single mistake. They were putting FaZe in literal headlocks. And like if for me, if FaZe really had improved, I feel like they could have battled back a lot more. 177 isn't that bad of like a stat for like their losing ratio.
It was a lot
but like,
worse than that.
It was a lot worse than it looked.
The
and I think it's
P1,
just,
the P1 and the P2, they got like 40 seconds at the end of the game.
That's what I'm saying. I don't actually think they improved that much. I think they just had a couple people that just like popped off on a lot of the hard points, and that's why it seemed that way. So I don't know.
I disagree. Their hard point for the most part this weekend was like pretty clean. They have a very good bread and butter in rewind hard point that teams have a difficult thing, and they kind of smoked. They were kind of pretty good outside this series in red card hard point. It's been a good map for them. I think the key thing you talked about in the beginning is they gotta get better at Vol hard point because you may have to play it in this series.
I think that's just their sub base, bro. That's just their sub base for this year.
They got good at sub base at the end of last year. Like it can't.
Well, they've had moments in like what was it Stage 3? They were playing a lot of Vault online, and they were like they were playing some scrappy ones like that Toronto one. I remember the 249, 250. Like they've tried to play it, but it just doesn't seem as clean as their like rewind or red card or anything like that.
Her rewind has been good.
Yeah.
And Thieves' red card is just
I'll say for
fucking insane,
FaZe,
bro.
Can't play him on it, bro.
Yeah, it's actually fucking insane.
I think there's one map for FaZe that got better this weekend with Skyline Hardpoint. I think they played it twice and won both times.
That's in their map pool now.
Yeah,
they were adding that.
Yeah, that was the first thing Damon said to me, Sam, when we saw the maps, like at the venue.
Skyline?
Yeah, I was talking to Damon at the venue before the series. No, red card. Before the series started, Damon was like, I don't know, dude.
The watch against Thieves, bro.
He's like, they shouldn't be
it's the
playing
same
red
as
card.
FaZe Protocol Control. I know that Thieves were up 2-0, but like if I see anybody other than Thieves playing FaZe on Proto Control, you're phoning it in, bro.
Yeah.
You're actually griefing.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I let these come out and they get the job done. And man, oh man, they look great. They've looked really strong the last two majors. They are looking really good going into champs. Probably the favorites going into it. I mean, I'm sure that they're the favorites, right? I mean, in my eyes, they're the favorites.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
They're the favorites
I had
going
FaZe
into it for
before
sure.
the event, but I think the way that Thieves play is just they're very strong.
Watch. We were talking about this at the event. Watch a team that's not FaZe and Thieves win champs.
Be fucking electric.
That'd be a cinema. That'd be an absolute cinema, bro.
So hard to do. Like we're going to this event. Like the map pool isn't changing. Yeah, there are some spawn changes functionally, like say in Control, but I still think FaZe and Thieves are the best teams in that mode. I don't think so.
I think teams could squeak out a best of 5. You're not beating any of these teams in an extended series.
I think as long as FaZe and Thieves play their A- level COD, I think they're going to square up in the grand finals of champs, and we'll see what happens.
I think it'd be cool for a Cinderella run, but I also think like we need a deciding event for these two teams, right? They both won 2 majors and 1 minor each, so
Agreed.
I want to get a deciding thing at champs for who dominated Black Ops 6.
A final best of 9.
If they don't, that'd be a fucking meme, though.
Imagine it's just like fucking Ravens in a 5-0 final against FaZe or something. Just fucking dope. I don't know. Just the first thing that popped into my head. I know they're not making it, but just whatever. Roll with it.
No, because then they'll keep the rosters.
Gosh.
Finals is gonna be like Heretics versus fucking Surge.
I mean, bro, like that's the weird thing
That
about
would be
Surge. Like
fucking insane.
they could sneak into the
would be
grand final
insane.
if they're on. Like I don't think they'll win the grand final, but I feel like they could sneak into it if they're on like one day.
EWC, I got the Stallions. And I don't know who that
Which
team-
one? There's 6 of them.
There's 16 of them. They're all playing in the LCQ.
Did they qualify? Oh, they
No.
haven't.
No, it depends. It's all on pro points. So there's a lot going on with that, Slade.
When
There's
is
a lot.
that?
Patty's got 9 teams.
The LCQ is on Saturday. The LCQ is on Saturday.
Yeah.
When's roster lock for the LCQ?
Okay, I'm not sure, but just a little summary of what's going on. Okay, Caesar, obviously, you know, he just hopped in for this event. I mean, he's a saint for that. W Caesar in the chat. W Caesar. Zach went back to Australia because he already qualified with his Australian team from that region, so he's going back to Aussie. All right, so we're left with Symbols and Swooty. They crashed out at each other, so now we have two teams. We have a Symbols team and a Swooty team, and they're currently making teams right now. We just don't know who those teams are, but we'll find out in the next episode of the Stallions. To figure out what the teams are going to be. You know what I'm saying?
You said Swooty's a Splitgate world champion, right?
Yeah, he is. He is a Splitgate world champion.
Has he been playing Splitgate too?
Nah, he hasn't. He actually, his whole focus has been Call of Duty, apparently. I mean, that's what he says.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what he says. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he's playing Splitgate 2 behind the scenes. Not telling me, but I mean, he's making it seem like...
Pat, you ever sketch on your teammates at a team dinner?
Nah. I've dropped somebody at a team dinner.
That's
They're
not
important,
right.
bro. Important. You gotta go, man.
Yeah, it all started with a team dinner, and now we're here, and we have two teams, and they're both competing in the LCQ, which is Saturday, and we're still waiting to see what those teams are, but obviously they need teammates with pro points in order to get into the LCQ, so we'll see how that happens. And the only team qualifying for champs in the LCQ is the winning team. There's only one team from the LCQ that moves on, and it's the team that wins it all. So...
Who'd you drop at dinner?
Us? Or no, Pat.
Nah, Pat.
I meant like I've went to dinners with teammates talking about who we're dropping for who.
Oh, yeah. It's just the guy you didn't invite.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wait, so are they not? So they're fully done? Because I thought both of them were pretty really good. They're just chalking. They're not like, you don't think that they could make one team better than they could make one of their two teams?
What do you mean? Like, you think they should stay together, Pat?
Like, I'm saying, just as a pure, like, get the best roster possible, they can't form one team better than, like, you know what I mean? Because the one team they form be like a 99, and the two teams they form both be like 95.
They don't want to play with each other, Pat. That was the issue. They didn't want to play with each other. Like, they were obviously saying they did, but when they don't, and you could tell, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell there's just some tension. There's a little bit of tension there. They didn't want to play with each other.
They gotta put it to the side, bro. They gotta focus.
That's what Tog's saying, but Duarte said they're chalked.
Wait, so did Zinni. Don't say me.
Yeah, but like
Duarte said he said it's chalked.
Bro, in an LCQ, man, like, you gotta put the best roster on. Bro, you don't have to like your teammates, bro. I'm sorry. Like,
Well, I think
doesn't work like that anymore, Pat.
Well, I'm gonna be blatantly honest here.
Don't work like that anymore,
it's
Pat.
1 month that
It's
they're
better-
playing together,
it's
bro.
for
You
be-
don't
it's-
gotta like your teammates. Make the best team possible. Show up, do your fucking job, win, and everything will fall off.
But I
the
think
trust is not
Symbols-
there, Pat. They're not gonna play at their best level. Like, aren't you just you're just
But
assuming
Pat, here's the thing. I think
now?
Symbols thinks the team he can make is better, and I think Swooty thinks the team he can make is better.
Then they're both wrong.
You think so?
Bro, if they
Well, how do you
both
know?
think,
Well, how do you know?
If they
How do you know
both
they're
think
wrong?
they can make a team better than the other, then they're both wrong.
How do you know?
What do you mean? That's just how it works. If they both believe that they can make a team better than each other, then both of them are wrong, Tom.
Well,
They're
maybe one of
both
them's
teams-
wrong.
No, both of them are wrong, Tom. To me, that just tells me the best team they can make is together, bro. And they just need to stick it out. They need to pick up, like, who's the best player that hasn't qualified? Vivid's team qualified, right?
Yeah. Vivid, Mambo, Craze, and Mac. That's a great team, by the way. It's a great team.
Bro, they just gotta figure it out, Tom. And they don't have to like each other, bro. They just have to, they just have to both show up on the same day.
Yeah, I think that's chalk, Pat. I think that's chalk. We'll see. Maybe.
How old are they, Tom? How old are they?
They're like 21, 22, like 21 to 23.
Tom, like, look, I'm gonna talk to him right now, bro.
You gonna talk to them?
Yeah, no. Right now, I'm making a statement. If they're listening, which
absolutely.
they should be.
Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
You said they're 20, 21. Listen, bro.
Yep.
There's a few decisions in your life that are very important, Tom. Very important, like that
Right.
that set you up long term.
Right.
This is one of them right here, and I think the best decision for these guys is to get on a call, Tom, one-on-one, no third parties, no Zinnies fucking instigating and gaslighting, one-on-one. Work it out, talk about what they need to work on together as a unit, and then the best player that they each plan to pick them up on one team, and then form that one team, go into the LCQ, confidence at an all-time high, qualify.
What if the players that
and
wanna
then
pick
their
up don't wanna
careers
play
will
with
be
each other?
different. Bro, those guys got to get over it too. Those guys clearly don't have a choice, Chris. If they both are needing to get picked
What
up.
if the guys with the pro points in order to get into the LCQ don't want to play with them? unless or only want to play with one of them and not both of them.
Well, Tom, that's just where you got to step in. Like money talks, Tom. We're in a world where money talks.
You want me to give these guys money?
No, not these guys. The best guy that you need.
The best guy that I need. You want me to give him some cash?
Just that guy. Yeah. The guy that's like on the fence but has all the pro points and is the best. That's the guy you look at.
I mean, listen, there is one guy who thinks he's next up, and he goes by the name of the Reaper. You ever heard of him, Slay? You ever heard of the Reaper?
I haven't, but I mean, his name is sounding promising.
It's K-Son, Pat. I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. It's K-Son.
It's K-Son.
Never mind. Give that guy nothing.
They're calling him the Reaper, though. They're calling him the Reaper. That's what they're calling him, but...
He's calling himself the Reaper.
No, I think, other people are calling him the Reaper, bro. I mean, it's just, it is
Shout out
what
to
it is,
Gersh
bro.
doing a phenomenal job as on social.
Slowly. We'll see what happens with the Stallions, but let's take a look. Speaking of Gersh, Gersh is our fantasy winner for stage 4. Give it up for Gersh,
Wait,
ladies
Ben got
and gentlemen.
third?
Ben got 3rd place with his God roster. He got 3rd place.
Yeah, we'll go pull my team. You'll
Wait,
see
who
shit the
costed
bed.
you?
Pull the team and you'll see who shit the bed.
All right, let's see. Let's pull up team Benji and Asim. Let's take a look here and let's see.
It was Kyle Crimp.
Kyle Krem, man.
Let's take a look at
That's
Team
it.
Butt Crack. What happened here?
My team was ass.
That was not good.
Wait, who's
Got a
Pat's
guy-
team? He got second.
That team got dead
I
last.
actually was winning before Sunday, I
Oh
think.
no!
Kenny Nasty, oh, you got the Sim super carry.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
the .86 nasty weighing you down. Oh,
Bro, it's
man.
actually crazy. You can have anybody pop the fuck off. If you have one shitter, it's chalk.
Bro, and Real had like a 1.3 going into, I think, Sunday. Like,
And then you
his
have
stats fell hard.
needs a raise. You got Cammy, Hydra, Nero, and Rencor. What a squad!
The Hydra
Nero-
Rancor
Nero-
duo.
I
bro.
think he got carried by Nero.
Nero
Nero.
insane carry.
Nero had a 0.8 or 0.9. Gersh loses.
Yep, probably.
Wow. Gersh drafted
Probably.
Nero every single stage and it paid off. That's good work.
Congratulations to Gersh, man. Congratulations. What a
You
pleasure.
gonna give him that raise after all time or no?
Probably not. Let's see here now. Let's see what's going on. All right, slowly. Everybody wants raises, man. Ben wants a raise. Gersh wants the raise. He said, "Fuck in the chat." Absolutely, man. We'll get you guys some raises, some bonuses. You know what I mean? Slowly. Let's take a look here and see what's going on here. Okay, this is actually our first tier list before the season started, guys. This is our first tier list. What do you guys think?
Fuck, we're ass.
Dude, I can't believe y'all I told y'all OpTic was B, bro. I was
Fuck,
saying
we're
that.
ass.
So we had
Well,
LA
Surge
Thieves,
is a different
OpTic, and
team.
FaZe. We had LA Thieves, OpTic, FaZe, no order in the S tier. We had nobody in the
We
A
got
tier.
it pretty good at the start of the season.
And we had Toronto, Cloud9, B tier, Gentlemates. Gentlemates, we were off by a long shot. We thought Gentlemates was going to be C.
I mean, Vancouver and Miami, we shit the bet on too.
Yep, Vancouver, Miami, definitely
To
should
be
have
fair,
different
let's
teams.
be clear
Different
on
teams.
Charlie,
Different
They
teams.
made
Hold on,
massive
hold on.
upgrades.
Different teams. That's fair.
Vancouver with Charlie and Miami, yeah. So
Different teams.
Yep,
Boston,
definitely different
Boston and
teams.
Hell is maybe the biggest miss that we had because Boston have been.
Were any
My
of them
one or two
correct
tiers
off the
higher.
rip before roster
To
changes?
be fair, our D tier was right because they made
yes.
team changes. To be fair.
LAG.
LAG, Ravens, C9. Maybe, no. Yeah. And then
Yeah,
Boston.
Really, if you swap Boston with Gentlemates, it was pretty much spot on, except for y'all putting OpTic in S.
C9 and B is not good either.
Well, no, they
And
didn't
Rocker
start
and D.
high.
I don't know if
yeah.
Rocker's in D. They didn't make it. I guess they did make a roster change. Never mind.
You'd probably have OpTic where A, or sorry, B.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're
Probably
if you're
tier
looking
C,
at
probably
it,
B with
how they
Toronto with
started.
Cloud9. Nah, I'd
we
probably
did
have
get
them B with
two.
Toronto and Cloud9.
We did get in D and Hell. We did get 2 teams correct that didn't
In
qualify for
hell.
champs.
That's so funny.
I mean, it's crazy to look at, right? It's crazy to go back and like see our tier list to see like what we were thinking and kind of like where it all unfolded. And we weren't that far off. Vancouver, Miami were shit. They ended up making changes. They got a lot better. I think Gentlemates in Boston were like Pat said, were kind of like the biggest things. And then we had OpTic in the S tier. I think we had them probably like B around like Toronto and Cloud9 to make more sense. But overall, it wasn't that bad. We weren't that off. I feel that was pretty good. What do you think? What do you
it's
think,
not that
Chad?
bad.
You think it was
Could be
pretty
way
good, or do you
worse.
think it was ass? What do you think? What grade do you give us? Like A, B, C, D, or F? What grade do you give us, Chat? I mean, what are you guys thinking? Maybe we'll make a poll or something.
Kind of ass.
I'd say C. I'd say C. That's like we passed, but like it wasn't good.
It's a B plus. It's a
We
B
got
plus.
roster change cheese, bro.
We did get roster change cheesed. They're saying it's a C. We got a C. Okay, some people are saying Fs. Okay, that was not an F. That was a C. C minus. Hey, fuck yourself. Anything else you guys want to say before we head out of here? So
We're gonna do another like champs. Gonna do like another champs preview show at some point next like week or two.
yeah, I'm definitely down. We can build a bracket.
When is champs? It's over a month away, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's at the end
champs
of
is a
June.
while away, man.
So
I'm not
I think
really
it's like
too
the last
sure.
weekend of June.
Wait, wasn't last champs in like late July?
Like
last
middle of July, I think.
It was during my birthday. I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah,
July
season-
21st.
Season about a month shorter this year, Pat.
It was the weekend of July 21st because I
But it didn't-
remember
but it
Champ
didn't
Sunday was my
start-
birthday.
But it didn't start any earlier, right? It started the same
No,
time.
we just didn't have like long breaks in between the stages like we did last year.
It was when I think when stage 4 was starting this year, like stage 3 was starting last year.
Yeah.
So does that mean
going to do?
EWC is going to be sooner too?
Well,
No.
EWC's date's already out. It's the end of
Oh,
July.
is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a long off season.
Yeah.
Are we
yeah,
gonna do a champs or not champs? A flank award show? We're gonna do that after the season.
I think we should do
ends.
it after champs.
After champs. Yeah.
Or after EWC if you guys want to do like
I
the whole
think
season.
we should do it after EWC. The only thing is because like
I'm down for
EWC
that.
is a big event, and that way we can do like an award show and do a Roster Mania show and like really give each the oxygen that it requires. You know.
I'm down for that, for sure. I'm definitely down. Friendly reminder, I will not be here for Saturday champs. So, Benji, I think you're hosting the show that day, right? You'll be hosting.
Solely.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah, I
are.
think I'm sick.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be with Uncle Benji Saturday. You'll be with Uncle Benji.
Uncle Benji is crazy.
Damn, I'm fucking.
Okay.
Is it a 4-day event now? Back to
Yeah.
4-day? Okay.
4-day. Yep, 4-day
Yeah,
event.
Champs has always been a 4-day event in the CDL.
At least
So-
back too, because DreamHack was 3.
Sorry,
Benji, come on.
chat, but it's family,
That's fair,
family
that's fair, true,
priorities, family matters. I'll be at a wedding. You know what I mean? It's
It
an
used to
important
be
wedding.
5, right? Am I faded?
I'll be
We used to
back.
have
I'll be
full
back for
play on
champs.
Wednesday,
I'll be back for
Thursday.
championships.
I think so,
Group
Pat.
stage.
We should
Yeah,
bring
was
in
it Black Ops 3 like Wednesday? Some
Yeah, I think
crazy
it was
shit?
Wednesday, Thursday. I think World War II as well.
Something like that. Yeah,
'Cause
'cause
we
you
had to
qualifiers.
play out all the
Yeah,
group play.
all
Yeah.
the pools.
I was gonna say we should bring in a Dylan for that
Yeah, you
day
guys-
for
I was
sure when
saying
you're
it as
not
well.
here.
I just said that we could bring in. You guys can get Dylan attached when I'm not here. Bring in Dill.
Let Dylan host.
Still unattached.
You know, we can let Dylan host or something. You know, but
Well, you don't think I can host?
I think you can host. I think you'll be fine. You already made another podcast and you host that one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a great podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You already made another one. This is what it is. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us. Actually, Benji, you got to hit the pop. Benji, you got to hit the pop.
No, we don't hit a. You know the deal, bro. We don't hit a putt on random shows like this.
This isn't a random show. This is a Sunday champ show.
Oh, not it. This
Late.
is true. This is a Sunday
It's
show.
a
right? Let me
Sunday
get my
show.
plugs in.
It's a
True.
Sunday. It's a
So
Sunday.
Tom, I forgot where I saw it, but somebody said that Ben lets people talk way more on his show than he does on the flank.
Really?
Ben does let us
Yeah.
yap.
Is that true?
He doesn't interrupt.
Ben does let Chelly yap.
What's
I
going
think
on?
because Ben is the host of that one, and this one he's like co-host.
What the fuck is going on?
Are we finding excuses for Ben right now?
Yeah, I'm going
The
to be honest.
generational one.
Hey, Benji, we can't see the hole. He can't hear me. Is he there? He probably walked away. What the fuck is he doing? We can't see the hole. Hey, Benji.
Hey, when I can't see the hole, I always
Benji,
skip
we
this part.
can't see the hole, Ben. He can't. We can't see the hole. He doesn't hear me. He doesn't fucking hear me. Oh God, look at him. Jesus, this guy's a moron. What the hell is this guy
Just
doing?
keep an eye on the top of the board and see if it goes over.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Benji Nassim on your screen now. And he missed the paw. He missed the fucking paw. He missed
Show
it.
hole.
He fucking missed it. We can't even see it. Okay, we can't even
showing
see
hole.
it, man. What the hell is he doing? What the hell is he doing? Is he going for it again? Is he going for it again, folks?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What the hell is it? First of all,
Did he miss it again? Oh my god.
Guys getting. Oh, he's 0 for
Yeah,
2.
such a scene, bro. Just get us out of here, man.
oh man. Oh man.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
talk,
man. Be like that,
Ben,
Benji,
we couldn't see your
the
hole.
hole, Ben. We couldn't see the hole. We couldn't see the hole, Ben. We couldn't see
What do you
it.
mean?
We wanted you to show hole and your mic was in the way.
We couldn't see the hole, Benji. We couldn't see the hole. Your mic.
Well,
your mic.
I miss.
It's okay. I know. We
We know. We heard the gasp.
Yeah, we heard you, Ben. We saw you. But chat, that's gonna do it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed all the shows this weekend, bro. Hope you guys have been enjoying the watch parties. I appreciate all the love, man. Thank you to everybody who's been coming in hot and supporting the streams, man. We actually recently just broke. We got into. We hit over 100 million viewers on YouTube. So I appreciate everybody who's been showing love over there. I know that Brian Stats tweeted that out, and that was pretty cool to see, bro. So I appreciate everybody who's been locking in and watching, bro. I really appreciate you guys, man. So thank you so much. And yeah, bro, we'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Go to anchor.fm/theflank. Check out audio says Ron. Go follow @theflank on Twitter. You're doing a phenomenal job running socials. Zooma.gg for the merch, and of course join the community if you haven't already. It's spotlighted to the top of my Twitter, to the top of the Flank Twitter. And as always, guys, that's gonna do it. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank, man. Take it easy. Ciao, ciao. So long.
Absolutely.